This was the longest shutdown in American history. Nearly 1 million federal workers were either furloughed or forced to work without pay. National parks closed. Airport delays piled up. Food aid programs were frozen. Now it's over, for now. President Trump signed a temporary funding bill that reopens the government. Services are restarting, and people across the country are breathing a sigh of relief. But here's the truth. We could be right back in shutdown mode by next month. In fact, you could say the next shutdown is already scheduled. Why? Because none of the core disagreements were actually resolved. They were just delayed. This wasn't a compromise, it was a timeout. Congress still has to tackle major unresolved fights: how to fund healthcare programs, whether or not to expand military and border spending, and how to manage long-term budget caps that are squeezing departments dry. These aren't small line items, they're the foundation of federal operations. And with a divided government, the risk of another deadlock is real. The whole reason this shutdown happened in the first place was because the two sides couldn't agree, not even on the basics. And that hasn't changed. The big disagreements are still sitting on the table, untouched. This shutdown cost the US economy billions, but the deeper cost? Loss of public trust. Americans just saw how vulnerable their basic services are to political games, how one disagreement in DC can delay their flights or shut down their child's food assistance. And here's the global twist. The US dollar is still the world's reserve currency. That means political dysfunction in Washington has global ripple effects. Markets watch these shutdowns closely. Investors get nervous. Safe haven demand spikes. And international partners start asking uncomfortable questions about stability. If you're holding crypto or investing globally, this kind of volatility matters. A shutdown might seem like US politics, but it touches interest rates, risk appetite, and even dollar dominance. So while the doors are open again in Washington, the real question is, for how long? Will lawmakers actually resolve the big fights, or are we heading for another showdown and another shutdown? We'll find out in a few weeks. Until then, stay informed. And if you're holding USD, maybe keep an eye on Congress too. But as always, stay curious and stay hodling.